Radio Play Comics is mostly meant to adapt the stories of great unadapted, old and forgotten comics from the past. I use voice acting and narration to abridge the work as much as possible without lessening its impact, and to bring the stories to life the best way I can. Please enjoy. Hi, I'm Nick, and as of this episode I've changed the name of the show from Storytime to Radio Play Comics, to be a bit less generic and to have a title you can actually search for and get a list of my episodes. I'll be changing all the video titles on the old ones as well, and hopefully it won't be too confusing for new viewers. Anyway, welcome to the Fusion Space for today's episode of Radio Play Comics, Batman Prodigal. This is the final part of the KnightFall saga, following directly after KnightsEnd. In the briefest of summaries of KnightFall, Bruce Wayne had his back broken by Bane and selected Jean-Paul Valley to fill in for him as Batman, but Jean-Paul went mad and Bruce had to return after being healed by a metahuman doctor and fought Jean-Paul with the help of Robin and Nightwing to depose him. Jean now wanders the streets as himself, trying to put his pieces back together, and that story is mostly told in his own ongoing book, Azrael. However, Bruce wasn't quite ready to come back yet, as he needed some time away to reevaluate how he goes about being Batman, after his old way of doing things ended in disaster facing Bane. But this time he picked the right person to fill in. Dick Grayson, the original Robin, steps into the Batsuit to fill in for his old mentor. After seeing Jean-Paul's reign tumble into darkness and Bruce's return, Dick Grayson stepping into the Batsuit was something all the readers at the time wanted to see. Teaming up with Tim Drake, the two Robins will do their best to emulate their trainer's style and show Gotham the right kind of Batman to restore his good name and to keep the criminals under control until Bruce is ready to return for good. Dick will have to deal with the fallout of Jean-Paul's reign as Batman, encountering villains who want revenge for the way he treated him, as well as many Gotham rogues who have appeared since Dick's time as Robin and are brand new to him. Luckily, this Batman knows how to work with a Robin, and Tim Drake enjoys working with this substitute infinitely more than being choked and attacked by an armored madman, as could be expected. And lurking in Dick's mind is the fear that he won't measure up to Bruce's example, especially when he and Tim are forced to deal with Two-Face, whom Dick remembers best from one of his biggest failures as Robin, when he failed to save a hostage's life when given the choice to save him or Bruce. Will Dick Grayson live up to his greatest challenge? Did Bruce train him well enough, and has Dick learned and grown enough as Nightwing to truly replace Bruce Wayne's Batman? Can he regain Commissioner Gordon's trust after his relationship with Batman has been strained so far? And what will Bruce do differently when he finally does return? To find out, let's begin. Prodigal, Part 1. Robin and Batman. I can't leave Gotham without a Batman, but I can't make an error in judgment like last time. Well, I don't think you have a thing to worry about, Bruce. This time, you made the right choice. I can't replace you, Bruce. Dick Grayson puts on the cowl of Batman. But I'd be lying if I said it's not going to be wild standing in for you. Thank you, Dick. Bruce takes off his cape. You're sure about this? I mean, you just came back and reclaimed. Because I was forced to. Now I have to do something else. Something which means leaving the manor, the cave, Gotham. Take care of them in my stead, as I know you will. Robin's right. I made a mistake in choosing Jean-Paul, but this time, the legacy passes into proper hands. Bruce leaves them to it. Sure hope you're right. What was that? Nothing, Tim. Just talking to myself. So talk to me. What do we do now, Batman? Tank up on fuel, and drop some crime in its tracks. Gotham River. Waylon Jones, also known as Killer Croc, approaches a drunken man from the water. What? He springs up and pulls the man under. The water thrashes insurance for just under 1 minute. Then turns red, and still. A minute after that, the sated predator surfaces. His arm is healed. He decides it is time to do more than merely survive like an animal. It is time to seek the revenge of man. Croc swims toward Gotham City. Something wrong, Dick? No, just strange, being back here in the manor. You've got your own home with your father, Tim, but I grew up here. And even in a state like this, deserted, neglected, it brings back memories of how it was after Bruce took me in. More elegant than anything a kid from the circus could possibly imagine, and filled with vibrant life, with people who looked and spoke like characters from a book. Or maybe even from a dream. Ahem. Alfred. Even spies need their rest, young man, particularly one wishing to grow up to be as big and strong as Master Bruce. Dick? Sorry, but it's strange, isn't it, not having Alfred around here? Amen, especially in the face of that fuel intake you mentioned. Hey, no problem, kid. Follow me. Soon, Dick makes eggs in the kitchen. I can't believe you can actually cook. I like to eat. So does Bruce, but he had to order Chinese last night. That's where I'm one up on him. I lived on my own without an Alfred. Still miss him, though. He was good for a lot more than cooking and cleaning. Yep, but at least we don't have to miss him on empty stomachs. Gotham City services are still cleaning up the bridge after Bruce and Jean Paul's battle. A genuine disaster, Commissioner Gordon, but it's from municipal headaches like this that public servants like us get paid. Yes, Mr. Mayor, but why do you need me here now? It's called inspecting the damage, Gordon, touring the scene of tragedy. It's also called a photo opportunity. Don't get righteous, Gordon, not when it was the police matter which created this mess, and not when it took the Batman to clean it up. Your Batman boosting is about to deflate, Mr. Mayor. Oh? It was your Batman who created this mess, not the police. I'm the Batman who cleaned it up. Are you suggesting those rumors about two Batmen on the bridge are true? There's only one Batman, Mayor Kroll, and thank God he's back. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a new municipal headache to get paid for. Dick and Tim head out as Batman and Robin to answer the bat signal in the sky. I think Gordon spoils dessert on purpose. You might be right. It never failed when I was Robin. You gonna try to fool him with the rough and spooky voice? Jean Paul Valley got away with it. Yeah, for a while. But Gordon doesn't fool for long. Number of strange attacks over the past month. 4 of them fatal, in and along the river. What do the survivors describe? A monster. But since the attacks were all nocturnal, and the victims all went into shock, we can't be sure what they saw. Harbor Patrol spotted something large swimming into the river, but it submerged and disappeared. We figure some sort of aquatic predator out of its normal range. But the zoologist we consulted can't match the bite marks with any known animal. Gordon hands Batman a file. Anything else, Commissioner? Just one thing. Which one am I talking to tonight? Gone. And so much for the rough and spooky voice. Come on. With a ton of luck, maybe I can at least fool the bats in the cave. Back at the Batcave, Robin analyzes the bite marks with the Bat computer. Gordon's consultants are right. Animal dentition, all right, but the size and shape of the bite is human, Dick, or as close to human as Waylon Jones gets. And Waylon Jones is Killer Croc, busted out of Arkham along with all the others by Bane. At a warehouse on the waterfront, 2 thugs await a shipment of smuggled guns when Killer Croc emerges from the water and surprises them. Boo! What the? Some kind of monster? He kills one who pulls a gun by slashing his neck with his claws. Shh! You! Who's your boss now? Gershon? Peretti? Peretti! Call him. Tell him Croc's back. Croc? From the days when the squid was running things. He'll know. He throws the body in the water. Dick and Tim hijack a boat. We're gonna drop crime in its tracks by stealing a boat? Not quite stealing, Robin. More like borrowing one of Dad's toys. It bursts out from a Wayne Enterprises marine facility. Toys got muscles. That's our dad. What'd Peretti say? The remaining thug hangs up the phone. He's coming right down, but personally. Good. Then I don't need you anymore. What are you? You slurred me. Called me a monster. All my life people been doing that. People who think they're pretty. But you ain't pretty. And I'm not a monster. The name is Croc. Killer Croc. Killer Croc bites deep into his neck, earning his name yet again. Remember how I came to New York and asked for your help? Against Barracuda and Chulo, 2 brutes hard to forget. We worked well as a team, Dick, and when I went back to Gotham and Batman, Jean Paul, I liked the sound of Nightwing and Robin a whole lot better than Batman and Robin. Which only proves the maxim, be careful what you wish for. But funny thing, after all those years playing Robin to bruise with Batman, it wasn't bad having a Robin at my side. And now here we both are, two Robins playing Batman and Robin. Let's just hope we're both ready for it. Hey, if you're thinking about your early run-in with Two-Face, Dick, I won't make that kind of mistake. Good to know, but it's not you I'm worried about. A man died back then because I wasn't ready to be Robin. It wasn't your fault. Maybe not, but since it took the Batman to save my hash, I've gotta wonder, am I ready to be him? Hey, wait a minute. Kinda late for a shipment delivery, isn't it? Yo, Sal, Frank, where are you? These crates are heavy. So break your back. What the? Death. Croc jumps down from the rafters. Ah! Hearing a scream, Batman and Robin head for the warehouse. Batman and Robin come up from the water. That's enough, Croc. You, where's Bane? He broke my arms twice. Had to set the bone myself the second time. It hurt, and he's gonna pay. Where is he? Killer Croc throws a thug into the water. In Blackgate Prison. He was dropped by you? Yes, by the Batman. Bad move, because now you've got to stand in for it. Robin gets to the thug in the water. And besides, you and me got even older scores to settle, unless you've forgotten the times we tangled. How could I? Batman throws a batarang at Croc. Dick punches Croc as Tim pulls the thug out of the water. You'll have to do better than that. I've been hit by Bane. Whoa. Robin extends his staff and vaults onto the boat to join the fight. Huh? Dick jump kicks Croc and Robin whacks him with his staff. Tough hide. More gangsters arrive in a car outside. We go in fast. What about Sal and Frank, Mr. Peretti? They're either dead or expendable. Robin, watch out! Robin flips off the boat's rail, narrowly dodging Croc's hammer fist. He lands by the door, which bursts open as the men enter and open fire. Terrific. He dives behind a wall of crates. Robin! Don't worry about me. Just take care of Croc. Used to wrestle gators in the freak show. How about it, Batman? Killer Croc tackles Batman and begins to crush his torso in a bear hug. You got ribs strong as a gator's? Forget the kid. There, on the boat. Robin throws batarangs to disarm a gunman. Squeeze, you try. Oof. What are you waiting for? Blast them both. Dick uses both hands to strike Croc's head and break his grip. Robin leaps into the thugs before they can fire on Dick. No! Batman kicks Croc into a net on the ground. He kicks a crane's lever, hoisting the net. Robin, the other one. Robin sweeps the thug with his staff. He dives to avoid a spray of gunfire, the bullets hitting Croc in the net instead. Robin jump kicks the final gunman, ending the fight. Blood drips from the net. Call the police, Robin, and an ambulance. Even his hide couldn't stop those slugs. Concern for the bad guy. A huge change from sidekicking for Jean Paul. Batman and Robin leave by boat as the police and ambulance arrive. Police headquarters. So he did it again? Solved the river slayings? Yes, but maybe you've been right, Sarah. All along. I don't know what I'm dealing with anymore. A vigilante masquerading as some nocturnal predator? It's never bothered you before. You're wrong, Sarah. It's always bothered me. I got through it by trusting him, because of who he was as a man. But now, just when I thought that man was finally back, there's a third one. Real teamwork again, and way to go trusting me to handle those shooters on my own. Maybe, but those slugs Croc took could have found you. Lighten up, they didn't. In this game, there's always a next time, and if I barely cut it as Robin myself, and didn't do much better as Nightwing, what am I doing now? Prodigal, Part 2. Blackgate Prison swells with the inmates of Arkham Asylum as well, following its destruction in KnightFall. Harvey Dent, a.k.a. Two-Face. On your feet. You're due in court for the result of your psychiatric evaluation. You hear me, Dent? Stand up. Harvey flips his coin. It lands with the clean face up. Sure. I wish they'd get this city computerized. I'm drowning in paperwork. 30 men on court transfer, and regulations stipulate a dozen tops. Sooner they get Arkham rebuilt, the better. Cons and kooks just don't mix. Whole damn justice system's starting to come apart at the seams. The cleanup continues at Wayne Manor. Off school early, Dick. I thought maybe you could show me some of your special martial arts moves. Not today, Tim. Too much to do. Where's Alfred now that you need him? I'll get by. I do wonder where he is, though. Round the world cruise, maybe? He must have major savings from what Bruce paid him. And now with Bruce gone, too. Feels kind of weird. So many changes. Do you think that... Bruce told me a story once. Two philosophers talked all day. And? Dick tosses a broom to Tim. The mess was still there next morning. Message received and understood, Captain. Finally reunited, Scarface and the ventriloquist make their move to retake their old turf from its current owner by capturing his supply of heroin and cutting it with poison to spoil its reputation. Stay and help us out? We're running short-staffed. Union would never allow it. They're all yours, friend, and good luck with them. Eben, Leo, Court 3. Marriott, David, Court 1. Your lawyer's waiting. Kent, Harvey. Kent. Harvey Kent. Harvey's coin lands scarred side up. I'm Harvey Kent. You deaf? Sign there and there. The check-kiting charges against you have been dropped. Lack of evidence. You're walking. He keeps his good side showing to the guard as he walks past. You don't know how lucky you are, Kent. While we'll see that Harvey Kent is a different person in this story, it's also a reference to the original name of Two-Face, and as such is still the name of the Two-Face of Earth 2. Dick and Tim descend the stairs to the Batcave. Almost just like the old days. Feels like that for me, too. Only the other way around, if that makes sense. So many nights Bruce and I came down these stairs together, changing into their costumes as they go. And Batman and Robin emerged at the bottom. Hard to believe that I once wore the Robin costume. Even harder to believe I'm the Batman now. Better check out the city before we tackle the night. 13 addicts dead. At least 20 taken to St. John's Hospital as a result of a suspected batch of contaminated heroin. Interesting. St. John serves the Wharfdale area. That's been Marty Vetch's turf for a year or so. Vetch is a clever guy. Clever enough to have a clean sheet. He sells good stuff to repeat customers with no fuss. So why would he suddenly dump poison on them? Maybe he didn't. Question. Who else might have? What kind of mind is depraved enough to murder people who are killing themselves anyway? Let's ask the computer. A ventriloquist and his dummy? I've obviously been out of Gotham too long. This ventriloquist controlled Wharfdale before Vetch did. He's still on the run from Arkham. Could be he wants his turf back. Well, we'll see about that. Yeah, just like the old days. Gordon and Bullock investigate a corpse in the street. At least 20, and we can count on there being more. Dealers who have paid for bad heroin won't be willing to lose money. They'll just cut it and pass it on. Maybe not such a bad thing, Commish. It's not exactly enhancement to the city we're losing. They're human beings, Sergeant. It's not our place to judge them. Our job is to serve them and protect them, which we're manifestly not doing. Sorry, Commish. Feeble joke. He looks up at the sky, for a moment almost expectant. It's at times like this he used to ask for help. The trust it required to work with a vigilante had been built up over a long time. Jim Gordon could never seek aid from someone he didn't know. And he no longer knows the man in the costume. Scarface has used his attack to force a meeting with the criminal running his old turf in order to strike a deal. Files said Arnold Wesker, alias the ventriloquist, is a psychopath suffering from extreme schizophrenia. Seems Wesker is pleasant and quiet, but he expresses the evil side of his nature through his ventriloquist dummy Scarface. I haven't come up against him myself, but I have to admit, it's hard to take such a combo seriously. Agreed. But remember, at first sight you might think the Joker was only a clown. No sign of life. I suppose it would be a long shot Wesker would be here. He's an escaped prisoner. Unlikely he'd hide out in the first place anybody would think of looking. So, back to random patrol? Hold on a minute. Outside the ventriloquist old hideout, Batman spots a car waiting in the shadows. 2 more cars arrive, filled with enforcers, and they prepare to raid the building. More company. They're armed. Could be a drug meet. It's a double cross. Scarface was right. Scarface is always right. It's all locked up. They gotta be inside. We split up, hit front and back together. The car in the shadows pulls out into the street. Who? It's a hit. Go for the driver. Scarface's drivers open fire on the men in the street. Batman throws a batarang, hitting the driver in the head. Ooh, what in the name? The car drops a grenade as it passes the men. Ding, ding. Dick and Tim swing into action. Grenades! Run, you fools! The street erupts into instant devastation as the grenade explodes, killing them. Ah! The car pops up on two wheels and crashes as Batman and Robin reach the ground. Take cover! The men in the car open fire on them. I'll handle these murdering rats! Dick uses his acrobatic skills to dodge their fire, flipping over the car to strike them both at once. Carnage! I called it in. Ambulances will be here soon. I'm beginning to loathe this ventriloquist. With a vengeance. Batman grabs one of the thugs. Where do we find Wesker? He had nothing to do with this. We were acting alone. Would you rather I make you tell me? You can't. That ain't legal. Right. I'm a vigilante. That means I can do whatever I want to you. You got exactly 5 seconds to start talking, scum. You win. 1412 Hooper Street. He's going to see Vetch. Dick and Tim swing away. Nice bluff. Gene Pollard had just beaten it out of them. That's why he lost the job. Somebody at the door, Mr. Vetch. Vito ain't called in. Check it. Yeah, who's there? Bullets fly through the door and the man's head. The door opens and the ventriloquist enters. Looks like the game's changed, huh, Marty? You convinced me, ventriloquist. We're partners. Talk to me. The ventriloquist just a means of perambulation. Okay, Scarface. Take it easy, partner. The deal's off. You glue your chance. I'm taking over your cash and your stash. Lock, stock, and barrel. Where you got it hid? Hand over to you? Just like that? You must be joking. Clamming up on me, huh? I got my own way of opening clams. Rhino, the corkscrew. You gotta find out, Marty. I'm Gad to the cone. Evil. Scarface holds the corkscrew to his nose. But you're just a dummy. No ordinary dummy, sucker. They made me from the wood of the Blackgate gallows. Dozens of killers and arsonists and maniacs and worse died hanging from me. Jerking and squirming and screaming as their black souls went straight to hell. Quit it, boss. You're spooking me. Shut up, you gigalooka. Please, ventriloquist, don't make him do this. I'm sorry, Marty. I'm not in charge. If it was up to me, I'd set you free. I quite like you. Dick and Tim swing towards the window. Boss, Batman and Robin, headed this way. You're lucky this time, Marty. Get all geek gack. Rhino, with me. You hold them off, Nathan. Boss, don't leave me. Batman and Robin crash through the window and kick the gunman left behind. I've got him. Stop the ventriloquist. Robin socks him. Batman rushes out the door. He catches the ventriloquist on a tall ladder. It's over, Wesker. I'm taking you in. Please, no violence. You give up too easy, you goldy lug. Throw me. Throw me. He drops the Scarface puppet. So long, Cat Green. Ah ha 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 ha. Rhino catches Scarface. I give up. Don't hit me. I'm not a physical man. They escape in the car. Blast. We've got the mastermind. The dummy isn't going to matter much. It wasn't me. Scarface made me do it. He's wicked. Evil. Dick and Tim swing away as the police arrive to collect the ventriloquist. The new Batman should be satisfied, but a faint doubt nags at his mind. Something about double acts. Ventriloquist and Scarface. Batman and Robin. Each needs the other. They're never the same if you split them up. Once, long ago, the biggest double act of them all, Two-Face, almost cost him everything. He shivers and puts the memory from him as they fade into the night. The Scarface gang has been reduced to one lone man and a puppet, but luckily Rhino knows what to do. It's okay, Scarface. I won't let you down. The ventriloquist gave me strict instructions about what I was to do if this situation ever arose. It's probably passports and emergency cash and detailed plans for running the organization while I figure out how to break him out of jail. Rhino opens a locker at the bus station. Huh? There's nothing here. Just a book. The book reads, How to Throw Your Voice. As he holds it, Rhino's look slowly turns from confusion to dismay. Two-Face surveys the city from a rooftop. Justice is such a fragile thing. Men's lives depended on marks on paper, pulses in a computer. What would happen if the paper tears? If the computers crash? It's all interconnected. every element depending on every other to keep a city running. He could bring it all tumbling down. He could make Gotham a paradise for criminals and outlaws. His coin lands scarred side up. Through the coin, fate has made her decision. Anarchy. So shall it be. Prodigal, Part 3. The Vermin Factor. The wheels of justice grind slow but fine in Gotham, and in a city under siege by crime, they grind long into the night. Otis Flanagan, you are present and prepared for your parole hearing?
Ready as I'll ever be, Your Honor.
As you can see, we have a full docket. We won't waste any more of your time than we have to, Mr. Flanagan.
I have plenty of time, sir.
Exactly. You are serving a 20-year sentence for abduction, aggravated assault, second-degree murder, and destruction of public property. Frankly, nothing in your records before or since your conviction recommends you for early release.
Have you anything to say, Otis? Have you done anything with your time in prison that would help your case? Well, I've been doing some wood carving. Made this little flute here. Pitched it just right.
Otis blows the small flute.
I pitched like a drill through my skull.
Can feel it more than hear it. You're not supposed to hear the music.
Rats begin pouring from the air vents, filling the room.
It's for them.
Chaos erupts as the parole board knock their table over, leaping up to avoid the vermin. Batman and Robin watch from outside the building.
Sounds like your guess was on the money.
Not much of a guess after reading Ratcatcher's file. He was bound to try something his first time out of Blackgate.
If I've learned anything from my little friends, it's about survival. A rat will do anything to survive. Anything to be free.
As the rats swarm the parole board members, Otis throws his chair through the window. He climbs out on the building's ledge to find Batman and Robin.
Give it up, Flanagan. You can't get far in those manacles.
And they call me dangerous. At least I never dressed like a rat.
Don't run, Ratcatcher. It's 5 stories to the street.
I'm not running. I've no reason at all to hurry. I'll just whistle a little tune. Whee!
He uses his whistle again, and rats begin swarming around the hero's feet.
Yuck!
Don't move, Robin. A lot of them might be rabid. Don't do anything to make them bite.
We can't just let him get away.
Robin, stop!
Robin tries to chase Otis.
Oop!
He slips off the ledge, and Dick catches him.
Bonehead play, boy wonder.
Sorry, I forgot I was out with Mr. Perfect. Ratcatcher?
Gone. And all his furry little friends with him.
Well, like I said, it was a good idea trying to stay a step ahead for once.
Was a good idea. Well, back to square one. Robin looks up Ratcatcher in the Batcomputer.
Another disgruntled civil servant. Flanagan lost his job as Ratcatcher when he killed a man in a barroom brawl. Kept the judge and 2 others who helped convict him in cells in the sewers for 5 years. Trained rats to kill.
He also comes across a report of Harvey Dent's early release and forwards it to Dick in the Batcave. That's all he'll get done tonight, though, as his father, Jack Drake, has tickets to a tennis match for them. Later, in the Batcave.
I don't know what to do, Dick. My dad's not giving me a second to myself, and no time for Robin. The Ratcatcher's on the loose again, and now Harvey Dent.
Two-Face, huh? Two-Face hasn't been out long enough to come up with one of his goofy schemes. Ratcatcher's our main concern. I'm not looking forward to hunting for him through the sewers. We spent more than enough time down there looking for Killer Croc.
You're sure that's where Flanagan will head?
Harold gets his finger bit by a caged rat. They're not pets, Harold. They're small, but tough. They can survive being flushed down a toilet or a 20-story fall. Sick as it sounds, the sewers are Ratcatcher's home. There's close to 300 miles of drains and aqueducts and steam tunnels under the streets.
You think these guys will tell you something?
Wherever Flanagan is, there'll be lots of rats.
The only friends he has.
Pretty sad. The guy spends all his time under the ground with a bunch of rodents for company.
Yeah? I'm glad I don't know anyone like that, Batman.
You're just jealous, Timbo. You'll miss out on crawling through storm drains.
You get to have all the fun till the tennis open is over. My dad picked a lousy time to reestablish our relationship.
Be thankful you have those kinds of problems, Tim. You almost lost your dad twice.
Oh, I know that, but I just felt things were going to get back to normal.
Normal's not a word I hear around here much.
Yeah, I just miss Alfred. He always knows what to say. I can hear him now. Well, life's full of little surprises, Master Tim. Batman visits Gordon in his office.
Oh, it's you. You have some questions for me?
None that bothered me until now. How many Batman are there?
I don't know what you mean, Commissioner.
I'm a cop, for God's sake. Did you really think you could fool me forever? The put-on voice is a little different. Your frame isn't quite as large. Yours several inches shorter.
Does it matter?
Hell yes, it does. I put my life and my reputation on the line for you 100 times. And all that time I thought it was for the same man. The other one, the armored one. He's gone? For good?
Yes.
At least there's that. Well, this isn't a social visit. What can I help you with?
Harvey Dent. You are aware he was allowed to escape.
Some escape. He walked out the back gate. A clerical error.
Any word on his next move or current whereabouts?
Who knows what's in that diseased mind of his? Every unit is keeping an eye out for him and his known associates.
I'll do what I can.
Well, here's the part where I look away and you slip out the window and leave me talking to myself. I'll make it easy for you this time.
Nothing has to change, Commissioner.
Everything changes. Everything. Dick wishes he could say something to ease Gordon's fears. Would it mean anything if he could tell Jim that he did know the man in the mask, but from years ago in a different costume? He was only a boy then. Not knowing what to say, he simply leaves. He'll just have to show the Commissioner that he can trust Batman again. Meanwhile, down in the sewers, Otis makes his plans. It's a funny world, ain't it? Used to be my job to kill you all, my ratties. The city hired me to keep your populations down, to hunt you and poison you and exterminate you. Now we're all buddies, special friends. I've learned to admire you. There's so much to learn from you. The power of numbers. But you are hated and shunned and maligned. We have so much in common. I was loyal to the city. I worked hard for the people of Gotham. And they repaid me with prison. That man deserved to die. He was a bully and a drunk. I stabbed him, and I would stab him again. So misunderstood. So lonely. How can the city treat us like this? Well, no more. We'll show them that we're wrong to abuse us. We'll bring them to their knees. As Ratcatcher gathers an army of rats, one that Dick fitted with a transmitter slips in among them. A legion, an army. Follow me, troops. General Ratcatcher leads you to your glorious reward. All of Gotham is ours. Dick follows the transmitter in the subway rocket. Vroom. I can see now why Bruce kept Harold around. This subway rocket is wild. Just the ticket for exploring Gotham Underground, and I don't have to drive in the rain. Flanning's not wasting any time. His little pals are on the move. The tunnel's alive with them. He's got something in mind. Do you see, my ratties? The storm drains feed into here and out to Gotham Harbor. But the bodies of millions of you can block the main aqueduct. The city's pump will be overflowed. The subways will flood. The commuter tunnels will be inundated. Many of you will drown, but a new generation will be born in mere weeks. Breed and survive. Breed and conquer. Huh? Otis notices the rat's transmitter.
I call him Radio Rat.
Who?
And you called him right too, you Flanagan.
Batman swings down and kicks Ratcatcher.
6 rats in the system with radio transmitters. One of them had to find you.
After punching him, Dick pulls out a small device.
Your little flute calls them. This sound amplifier is calibrated to drive them away.
No! Ratcatcher tackles Batman off the walkway and they fall onto a lower one. I didn't gather them for you to cause them pain.
A little situational ethics, rat hugger.
Dick punches his mask off.
You brought them here to die.
He vaults off the railing to kick Otis in the head, knocking him out. If this works, it should be like fingernails on a blackboard to these rats. Or at least Yoko Ono's singing. Batman triggers his device. And the rats scatter.
Dick collects the rat catcher to take him in.
Aqueduct's still partially blocked. A call to Gordon will get city services down here. Killer Croc, Ventriloquist, and Ratso here are dangerous in their own way, but still minor league. Two-Face is a whole nother story.
Prodigal, Part 4. 2 in every crowd.
Oh no. I've done it again. I went to school in my Robin costume. This has been happening way too much lately.
Tim wakes up.
Gah! Most people have nightmares about going out in public naked. Not me. Or maybe the one where you sit down to take a test and can't remember any of the answers. I'd trade for that one in a Gotham minute. I'd like to think it was the pizza I had last night. But I know better. It's the weight of all my secrets.
Jack Drake knocks and enters Tim's room. Tim, glad to see you up so bright and early. The lake's still got a mist on it and the fishies are biting. Let's pull in a few before we have to go to school.
Give me a minute, Dad.
Don't take too long.
We did the father-son thing all week at the tennis open. Now it's fishing? Late-night crime-busting and pre-dawn fishing expeditions do not a happy Timmy make. All those years I wanted Dad and me to do things together. I guess that's why I became Robin. Something to do while Mom and Dad were trotting the globe digging up ancient civilizations. Something to fill the empty place in my life.
The little punk. I'm going to catch up with him and blow him in two. You got a hell of a mad on for the kid, Two-Face. I hate him so much I'm beside myself. Eat slugs, you half-pint.
Two-Face empties his clip into a mannequin of Robin, shattering it to pieces. And yes, this is meant to be the justification for that misleading cover. Sure didn't look like a mannequin, did it? Ah well. Moving on.
I feel a little better. This has been therapeutic for me. I thought it was Batman you hated so much. So did I. But now I know better, Ralphie. The strengths in prison show me that it was Robin who's really been giving me grief all these years. They helped me focus my rage. Who says psychotherapy can't help a guy?
So you're gonna off the kid, but what are we gonna do for cash? Yeah, we signed on to your string because you're good for hot scores.
Ugh. A computer glitch gave me my freedom. A mook named Harvey Kent was supposed to get paroled. But I think it was more than a mistake. It was fate. Did you know that the whole basis of artificial thought is binary? You see the irony?
You lost me.
The whole language and logic of computers is contained in two values. 1 and 0. 1, 0, 1, 0. Into infinity. Two values that can be made to mean anything. The sum of human knowledge in just those two. 1 and 0. Two sides of a coin. Two possibilities leading to endless possibilities. One number out of place, and I'm set free. What if there were thousands of numbers out of place? What if we duplicated the foul-up that made me a citizen again?
You mean monkey with the cops' computer records?
The cops, the courts, the prisons, the district attorneys. What if we knocked down the whole house of cards? Total pandemonium. And we'll be at the center of it all, playing both sides against the middle.
My life's been so crazy lately, and the craziest part is that the craziest part of my life is the only part that makes sense.
Two men are opening a skylight to a store, preparing to rob it, when a familiar shadow falls over them.
Did you get out of my light a minute? I ain't in your light, Tony. They are.
Batman and Robin glide down and kick them both over. The men are soon tied up for the police.
Kinda small change, huh?
You think things have been slow, Robin?
We haven't exactly faced any criminal masterminds lately.
Killer Croc, the Ventriloquist, and Ratcatcher are just wimps, huh?
They're not masterminds. We just react to that kind of hood. I mean something challenging. A case we can sink our teeth into. Sharpen our detective skills on.
Well, this is Gotham. If there's not a crime wave on now, just wait 5 minutes. Two-Face and his men stand in a room filled with the corpses of lawyers.
Gentlemen of the bar, I've called you all together. I've flipped my lucky coin, and the verdict is death. The first thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers. Do you know who said that?
You?
Idiot. This is only the beginning, guys. A room full of dead attorneys should slow the wheels of justice.
But where's the swag? The payoff, Two-Face?
You're annoying me, Ralphie. We break the system. We clog the courts and snarl the legal machine and cram the prisons. When we do that, then the city will be wide open. We kill judges and jurors and lawyers until Gotham screams to a halt. And district attorneys, we kill a bucket full of them. Self-serving, pompous creeps like Harvey Dent. Let's go. We got more work to do.
But ain't he Harvey?
If you know what's good for you, you'll shut up, Ralphie.
The quote was from Shakespeare, by the way. The police arrive at the scene of the massacre, but they are also unsure of Hardy's motivation or plan.
No apparent scheme yet. No dual motif. Unless there's something here I can't see. It's too early in the game. Two-Face hadn't set a pattern yet. Nearly a dozen dead already, and it's just starting? What if I can't stay a step ahead of Dent? How many more are going to die because of me? You can't think of it like that. What other way is there to look at it? Two-Face makes the rules. If you don't understand what they are, and you make a wrong guess, then someone dies. No second chances. No timeouts. But if you put that kind of pressure on yourself, you'll choke. We have to distance ourselves. The cold light of reason, huh? Distance. Maybe that's what made the real Batman what he is. I never got the hang of that. It's tearing him apart inside. I can hear it in his voice. Dick's running it through his mind over and over. His first time alone against Two-Face. An error in judgment that almost got Bruce killed. It almost got Dick killed. And now all of Gotham is in his care.
They return to the subway rocket. If it were anyone but Two-Face.
We'll get him. We have to.
Deciding to look beyond Harvey's obsession with twos, Robin taps into the city court computer to cross-reference the victims with Harvey's associates. But he finds an urgent message calling for help at the courthouse instead.
Whoa.
What is it?
Nothing good.
So this is where it all began. In the basement of city courthouse. This is where my pardon came from.
And we just walked right in.
So much information here. Trial dates, defense assignments, juror lists, parole hearings. All kept track of in this room. While the city sleeps, this is where it dreams. Just a slip of the digit and the wrong name is typed in, and I go free. Wait a damn minute. What's this?
Harvey finds the message for help on the computer.
A double cross? We'll flip the coin for these computer geeks later. They make me sick. But first we play with the numbers. We can throw the gates wide for 1,000 worse than me. A riptide of thugs and skells.
Oh.
I'll rearrange their bites, and then we'll see how the city makes order out of electronic chaos.
Geez, I didn't know you were a computer hacker, Two-Face.
Oh, I can hack. I can hack with the best of them.
He fires up a chainsaw.
I got your binary right here.
Two-Face destroys the courthouse computers at the source, eliminating the city's access to computer records of all of Gotham's criminals.
Wake up, Gotham. The nightmares start here. Oh, yeah. That was good.
Wow, you knocked out all the lights.
I don't mind the dark. We're finished here anyway. We like the dark too. But we're just getting started.
Batman and Robin have arrived. Prodigal, Part 5. Double Deuce. Even in the records room's cold darkness, there is no mistaking the man with the chainsaw. Facing the man, he has felt both terror and horror. That was when he was the first Robin, a young Dick Grayson. Now he is the Batman.
The lights! Backup generators kicking in!
But the terror has never left him, nor the horror of
Two-Face. What are you waiting for? Blow him away! The gun's Robin!
Dick throws a batarang and Robin throws his extending staff to disarm Two-Face's thugs. They leap into them, attacking high and low.
Ow!
The thug removes a disc from the remaining computer.
Got it, Two-Face. Then grab one of these petrified technicians before it's too late, you idiot.
Batman and Robin continue taking down the thugs until Two-Face gets their attention.
Freeze, freaks! Stay back, or I cut him in two.
Harvey slowly backs away with his hostage.
Let him go, Robin. Don't make a move. Don't make a mistake. And above all, don't misjudge him. Alright, brake for the car.
Follow?
Slowly, Robin. Don't do anything to provoke him.
They pile in their car and escape.
You alright, man? Yeah.
He's getting away. We can't even pursue. Yeah, maybe this was one time we should have taken the Batmobile rather than the subway rocket, since cars can go places tracks don't. That same stare, trapped in his face then, and haunting it just now.
Sorry, Two-Face, but I don't get what you...
Never mind. You don't have to get it. But for your sake, I hope you did get the correct access disc.
It's right here, Two-Face, but I still don't see what good.
You never see anything, dolt. But with that disc in our possession, crime and punishment in Gotham are about to switch faces.
Back in the Batcave, Tim tries to console Dick.
Gotta find him. Can't fail again.
Again? After taking down Killer Croc, Ventriloquist, and Ratcatcher, I don't see where you failed the first time.
I have failed, Tim. With Corey and with the Titans as Nightwing. And it all goes back to Two-Face. Back when I was Robin. The first and worst failure.
Yeah, the way you warned me not to make a mistake, not to misjudge him.
Exactly what I did that first time. Misjudged him completely. One man died, and the Batman almost died. Now I'm the Batman.
Saddled with the responsibility of your own tag-along Robin, and you're afraid I'll do what you did.
No, Tim. It's not you I'm worried about. Not you at all.
You had other reasons for accepting this Batman gig, didn't you? Other than just helping Bruce.
Maybe I did.
You're testing yourself.
Both boys take a drink from the cartons.
More like hoping to prove myself, buy back some confidence.
And it's my last chance. One more failure, and I'm either dead or out. Punishment and rehabilitation. The paradoxically opposed forces of the two-faced system I once served as District Attorney Harvey Dent, and whose judgment I now hold in my hand. With but two keystrokes, Command and Enter, I can scramble the entire judicial and correctional system, making the guilty innocent and the innocent non-existent. But should I press those two keys? Should I destroy the system? Or try to repair it? Vengeance or rehabilitation?
Harvey flips his coin, and it lands scarred side up.
Vengeance. And it serves the system right for being half defective already, flawed enough to release someone like me. And now, let the full force of binary chaos begin.
Harvey presses the two keys. The cleanup job proceeds apace as Wayne Manor slowly becomes a home once again.
Awesome. You can cook and do the laundry?
Hey, if there's still time, I may even putty some new panes in those smashed windows.
Blimey, does Alfred the Pennyworth know you've mastered all his domestic secrets?
Who do you think taught him?
Not to get too serious, Dick, but it's good to see you loose again, and good to see the manor taking shape, too. Since Jean Paul didn't care about it, and Bruce relies on Alfred, looks like you can teach a trick or two the other Batman couldn't.
Maybe, but when Cape and Cowl time comes around again, let's just hope I'm as effective as either of them.
I've seen you in action, pal. You can hack it just fine.
Even against Two-Face?
Especially against him. Like you said, you can't fail again. No matter what that creep's got in store.
The computerized chaos begins to have its intended effect as prisoner transfers on and off the island prison of Blackgate become confused. And soon the system's capacity is strained and every transport is overloaded. Prisoners even fill the aisle of a transport van in downtown Gotham, and the prisoners seize the opportunity to overpower the guard and jam the van's steering wheel. It careens across the street and crashes into a movie theater, killing the driver.
Grab the shackle keys. Open the door. Let's get out of here.
The prisoners, unable to escape before the police surround the theater, instead decide to take everyone inside hostage. Alright, suck carpet. Everybody down.
The police scanner said the Regency. That's on Coit Boulevard, just off...
I don't care where it is. This time we take the car.
Commissioner himself's out front with a bullhorn.
Then go tell him what we decided and shut this stinking movie off.
The theater is surrounded. There is no way out. Emerge slowly with your hands on your heads. No dice, commish? Not yet, Sergeant Bullock, and I want every on-site weapon inspected. Rubber bullets only, especially the teams to the rear. With all the recent computer foul-ups, some of these men could actually be innocent, forced to go along by the others. Make sure all personnel are equipped with gas masks. There's only one weapon in there, a shotgun, but they've got hostages. And there's nothing more desperate, commish, than prisoners with one foot on the outside. So when do we move? If they don't start coming out, then... Yo, Screws! Back off when we start taking lessons from Cagney. One movie lover every 10 minutes. Starting now. He's gone, commish. Through the bus and back into the theater. Where the devil is that tactical squad with that tear gas? Batman appears before Gordon atop the theater's sign.
No time to wait, Commissioner. Him again. This third one. Even a single shotgun can do a lot of damage before gas takes effect. And the first 10 minutes may be up before your SWAT team gets here.
And there he goes, charging up just like the Dark Knight to make us cops look like court jesters. I don't like it any more than you do, Sergeant. At least, not lately. 10 minutes are up. Grab the first lamp. Time to show 'em we mean.
Freeze!
Huh? Behind the screen. Robin throws a smoke bomb onto the stage from a light fixture high overhead. The prisoner fires a shotgun through the movie screen, but Batman ducks the blast. He leaps through the hole in the screen and punches out the gunman. Robin jumps down from the light and kicks another prisoner in the face before he can attack Dick. Batman takes out another prisoner with a head kick. Move it! There's already been a shotgun blast inside the theater. Gordon's men file out of the van. Batman and Robin take down 2 more prisoners. Fire! I want that tear gas in there now. The police launch tear gas into the building. Holding their breath and taking down 2 each with one movement, Dick and Tim quickly finish the fight. Alright, we're going in. Front and back. Let's move. And he's already gone. That kind of figures, commish, don't it? Just get these people out into the fresh air, Sergeant Bullock. And forget the Batman. Whoever he is now. One of Harvey's men finds out that it's a bad idea to question his boss's plan to take down Robin by targeting Batman, when Two-Face decides to use the man to test his death trap, throwing a noose over a raptor and around his neck, before shoving a statue of Blind Justice off a ledge to hang him.
This is real bad. Police, judicial, and correctional records have all been invaded and turned to hash. Cyberspace sabotage to the max.
He's destroying that which he blames for his own destruction, the entire crime-fighting apparatus of the city.
And if this runs par for his usual course, Dick, his final target will probably be...
Yeah, the Batman. Me. Prodigal, Part 6. Harvey Dent stares intently at his computer screen until he imagines he can see the ones and zeros of its binary code streaming across the screen. 1, 0. On, off. Start, stop. Yes, no. Good, bad. It never ceases to amaze him that the whole universe and everything in it is founded on the tension between those simple opposites. And if you program in a difference, no matter how small, sooner or later the whole thing falls to pieces. Just as Gotham City has fallen before his attack on the system that sustains it. He sees the digits come tumbling down the screen, visualizing the effect of his meddling on the city's systems. A city seized up, paralyzed, living in fear. He should be pleased. Surely this is the build-up he planned, leading to his finest ever moment. But something is missing.
It's too one-sided. That's a problem, Ralphie. It lacks a sense of balance.
He addresses the hanged corpse of his henchman.
Stick around, Ralphie. I have to go see a man about a case of mistaken identity.
On the screen is the address of Harvey Kent. At the GCPD, Gordon struggles to deal with the chaos.
I know we have a dozen dead DAs. I know the jails are bursting and the entire court system's paralyzed. I know the crime rates are shooting off the scale. Excuse me for saying, Mayor Kroll, if I could spend less time on the phone and more on the job, we'd have a much better chance of catching Two-Face. I'll keep you informed, sir.
Jim slams down the phone.
Easy, Jim. Don't let him get to you.
Don't worry. Right now, Kroll's just a minor irritant. A pimple on the face of my life. Two-Face is at the heart of the poison. If I could just figure out his plan.
Usually his crimes come with a two or dual motif, but not this time. Why? What does he gain by destroying the justice system?
Who can read the mind of a psychopath? Maybe Batman could help?
Which one? There have been at least 3 Batmen in the last 6 months, and only an idiot would trust any of them.
An idiot like me?
Sarah, that's not what I meant.
Well, what did you mean?
I...
Oh, never mind.
Wish I'd never heard of the Batman.
The prisoner transfers have piled up at Blackgate Prison, and the island is filled beyond capacity with the worst Gotham has to offer. The Arkham inmates must be kept separate from the regular prisoners, or there will be a riot. It's only a matter of time before the situation gets completely out of control.
Aye, you can't just come barging in here. This little pair says I can barge into hell itself, Mr. Kent.
I know you. You're Two-Face, the maniac the cops released by mistake instead of me.
Maniac?
Two-Face holds a gun to Harvey Kent's head.
A slip of the tongue.
Don't let it slip twice, Mr. Kent. Fortunate that the police released you, too. We are soul brothers, you and I, brought together by a capricious fate, and I should hate to have to kill you. Yet.
Two-Face drives away with his captive.
Our destinies are entwined, Mr. Kent. Let us rush to meet them at double speed.
Still more prisoners arrive at the overpopulated prison, and the staff can't even arrange the evening meal. Tensions rise until they break, and a large prisoner snaps a guard's neck and takes his keys.
Keep it down. Spread the word. Wait for my signal.
He takes a guard tower and opens fire on the warden with a machine gun. The warden barely manages to radio for help before he is wounded and the radio is destroyed.
Police? Zerhard! Blackgate! We have trouble!
Batman and Robin stand on a rooftop wearing large bat gliders. Ready?
I'm not too sure. I've only done this a couple of times, and neither was from anything like this height.
There's no other way. If the rioters have taken control of the guard towers, any attack from the water will be suicide. We need the thermals to get us over.
Maybe I should sit this one out.
Don't look so glum. Better you're mature enough to realize your limits, than to find out late that you don't. Besides, I'd hate to have to explain to Bruce why I had to scrape you off the road. Dick leaps out over the water alone and begins to glide. It's like another world up here, away from gravity's crushing hold. Silent and peaceful. The man in the costume feels almost at ease with himself. Almost. He has no qualms about his ability to do what he set out to do. He knows without doubt that his skills are adequate to the task. It's what's beyond this that unnerves him. The inevitable climax to this bloody mayhem, when he has to take on his demented perpetrator himself. Two-Face. That first ever encounter still burns in his mind. Despite his best efforts, he fouled up. Badly. Fatally. He's terrified the master of the double edge will make it happen again, and Dick Grayson will have another death on his conscience. What? Dick sees a patrol boat attempting to take the prison dock.
They're crazy. If that tower's in convict hands.
A searchlight finds the boat and the men are all gunned down. Batman leaped off his glider above the men in the guard tower.
We can hold this place against an army.
Finish him off, Nate.
He knocks out all the prisoners with punches and a kick. No harm stirring things up a little. Dick places a batarang on the searchlight. The prisoners react with fear when they see the improvised bat signal on the prison wall. The large one goes downstairs to raise morale just before Batman throws a flashbang into the guard tower and takes out all the rioters there. Inside the prison, the Blackgate crew try to get to the Arkham inmates to settle some scores. Batman uses gas to incapacitate them and rounds up more prisoners in a large net. Just then, the large man appears in a searchlight on a ledge and issues a public challenge to Batman.
Hey, hero, I'm calling you out. You and me, big shot, here and now. What do you say?
A bat shape fills the searchlight. Dick knocks the gun from his hand with a batarang and hits the man with a flurry of punches and a quick combination, finishing him off with a haymaker. The faces of the prisoners turn from joy to dread as they watch the brutally quick fight.
Your fun's over. Drop your weapons and return to your cells.
A prisoner aims a gun at Batman.
Any man who forces me to deal with him personally.
He hurls a batarang into the crowd, unerringly striking the man in the head.
I swear, that man will regret it.
The intimidation works and the prisoners return to their cells. Police boats move in to clean up. After what happened with Arkham Asylum, you'd have thought they developed contingency plans for Blackgate. I believe Mayor Kroll set up a committee, Lieutenant. It's due to report next summer. Yo, Commissioner, it's all over. The Batman was here. Everything's all right. I wish it was. I really wish it was. Dick glides back to the mainland with his bat glider. The night is his, and yet his face is grim. It's time to stop merely reacting. Time to take the game out of Two-Face's hands. Hall of Records sub-basement, not in use. Why, Mr. Two-Face? Why have you tied me up? Who are you waiting for? Fear clutches his heart like a living thing, but his flight never falters. He is the Batman. He will win the day, or perish trying.
Patience, Mr. Kent. We're at the fulcrum, the balance point around which the whole universe revolves. I am the spider, and we're waiting for the fly.
A computer glitch. A transposed letter and a name on a single sheet of the mountain of paperwork this city produces every day. End of the road, lawman. We make the rules now.
You can't hold us. You can't keep us.
And Gotham is plunged into a maelstrom of violence. 3 hoodlums are about to kill a downed police officer when a bat shape comes over the moon. Prodigal, Part 7, A Twice-Told Tale. Batman crashes into the thugs feet first, knocking over one holding a gun as bullets fill the empty air. The scum rise like a tide. Two-Face's attack on the legal infrastructure of the city has succeeded. Thousands of hood has been released from lockup. As soon as the thugs are down, Dick swings away to fight more. Those that are already free are emboldened, and every one is a distraction from the object of his search. The twisted genius at the center of it all. Harvey Dent, Two-Face.
A 2-pronged attack on Gotham's legal library. And this is the second part. Gotham has always been a low-tech kind of town, still storing legal documents and dockets and transcripts on moldering paper. The spike in the city court's computer system created a remarkable level of anarchy, but the destruction of the Hall of Records will be an apocalypse.
I was wondering. I still don't understand. What exactly am I doing here?
Closure, Harvey Kent. The fates brought us together, and we face the future shoulder to shoulder. A symbiosis, Mr. Kent.
But I didn't have anything to do with your release. They just typed Dent instead of Kent on the release form. Just an accident. A foul-up.
There are no accidents, Kent. There's only luck. Only chance. There's only winners and losers.
Harvey flips his coin.
Right now, I'm free and on top. Capricious fate and my own brilliant planning will keep it that way.
It lands scarred side up.
And Batman's death is a big part of those plans.
A lot of good I'm doing. Two-Face is tearing Gotham apart, and all I can do is mouse around looking for answers on my PC. Dick says I was using my head when I backed away from joining his soiree into Blackgate, but I can't help feeling like I punked out. I'm getting nowhere fast on my own, but I know who might have some educated guesses.
Tim calls Barbara Gordon, also known as Oracle, information resource for the heroes.
You still awake, Tim?
Hello? I was on the phone. I'll be off in a minute, Dad. Hello?
Is it a girl or homework, Tim?
A little of both, Dad.
Carry on, son.
Robin, right? Yeah, my dad was listening in, and I can relate. You have to call him, Jim.
I do not.
We need his help until we can stop Harvey Dent's rampage and put the justice machine back together again.
No. We'll do the job we were hired to do, Sarah. I just can't place blind trust in the Batman anymore. I don't even know who I'm dealing with half the time.
I've never been Batman's biggest fan, but this is exactly the time when we need him most. He understands Dent. He's taken him down before. Put away your pride and...
Maybe it's a mistake having my wife head major crimes. Maybe if we weren't married, you wouldn't be second-guessing me this way.
Really? If you want me out of major crimes, then you fire me. And if you think our marriage was a mistake, then you can fire me from that thankless job too, Commissioner.
Oh boy.
Two-Face is off his usual duality gig. Either that or I just can't see the gimmick for the trees. Maybe he's finished. Maybe he's done what he set out to do. But we know better, right? Yeah, wishful thinking. So other than bollocking the city computer records and knocking out district attorneys and judges and packing the prisons, what's his goal? What's he want? Chaos. Revenge. On whom? Well, Batman, me, the district attorney's office. What district attorney does he hate the most? Himself? He hates Harvey Dent. He hates every... What's that click? Call waiting. Hang on. Oh, hi. Kinda late, isn't it?
I just thought I'd call. I needed to hear a friendly voice, I guess.
Well, I was right in the middle of something, Dad.
I'm sorry, Barbara. Maybe I'll call you tomorrow.
Sounds great, Dad. Bye. Robin? Still here. There's one place he hasn't hit. The Hall of Records Annex. Gotham's still in the Dark Ages as far as computerizing. The Annex still holds most of the court documents. And criminal jackets, and even evidence. It's worth checking out.
Hendricks! Get me a cot out of the storage and bring it in here. I heard your tip with the lieutenant, sir. Anything you want to talk about? We can talk about you working a solo beat in the canal zone if that cot isn't here in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, Commission, no problem. I'm on the case.
Tim changes to Robin and heads to the Hall of Records to investigate. The prisoner transfers continue to overload the system, and Detective Harvey Bullock oversees the temporary storage of prisoners in a school gymnasium. 2 prisoners, led by the clue master, knock him over and take his shotgun before running off down an alleyway.
Ooh, I got it!
They are unaware of a dark shape watching them from the rooftops. Batman throws a batarang in a line around the chain between them and hoists them high into the air.
Hey! Oh, no!
Another distraction, another delay. He has to get to the cause of this plague. It's not so easy with these symptoms on the loose. Before they can use the gun, Dick swings in and kicks them both in the head. He's no closer than he was earlier. The pursuit is a mental as well as a physical exercise.
How are we gonna get them down from there?
Personally, I'd let him hang there till Easter. But I guess we can call city services and get a bucket truck out here for him. Damn, I just had this baby re-blued. Look at how he dinged it.
In the Batmobile, Dick checks his messages.
You have one message.
Play it.
Dude, this is Robin. I got a strong hunch we'll find Harvey Dent at the Records Annex in Midtown. I might be there by the time you get this.
Dick heads for the Hall of Records.
Don't worry, I'll keep low and stay out of...
Trouble. That's all you are to me, kid. Just trouble.
Harvey has Robin tied to a heavy metal utility table, along with Harvey Kent tied to an identical one.
Every time I think I got you masked creeps out of my life, there's another one to take your place. How many Robins have there been, huh? We met before, right?
You helped me get the job, Two-Face. You were my first slam dunk. Kinda like an audition.
Little punk. Well, the first Robin I ran into didn't do so well. I put him in traction. Did my best to kill him. I could smell the fear on him. I got to him. I own him.
Batman watches them from the rafters.
Just like I'm gonna own Batman when he finds out I killed his new Robin. What do you think his reaction's gonna be, kid?
Dick has a flashback to his encounter with Two-Face's Robin.
What's it gonna be, kid? What's it gonna be? Here's the game.
Harvey motions to 2 pallets filled with papers suspended above the metal tables.
See, I cut one of these lines, and one of you gets crushed under a ton of paperwork. 2,000 pounds, to be exact.
Dick shuts off the building's power.
The lights! He's here!
Two-Face and his men open fire in the darkness. Batman sneaks up behind them. No psychology. No reverse logic. He can't win by playing Dent's game. He has to make it his game. His rules. Dick silently takes out the henchman in the darkness.
Get the lights back on! Somebody get the lights!
No guessing. No playing. Harvey finds him.
There you are, you blind rat! Second time around, Batman!
Two-Face shoots at Batman, who dives behind a crate.
You remember how we play? I flip a coin and somebody dies. Will it be the latest boy wonder, or will it be the two-time loser? Who will Lady Luck smile upon?
When Harvey flips his coin, Dick knocks it out of the air with a batarang and it bounces away into the darkness. Ting, 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 ting. Harvey gets down on the floor to find his coin.
That doesn't solve anything, Rat. The coin's still in play. One of the sides will tell the story.
This Batman's gonna rescue us, right? That's what he's gonna do, right? He wouldn't just take off, huh?
Cool your pipes, Kent. He's got a plan. I hope that's true, Dick.
He finds it, scarred side up.
Ah, you're either lucky or you're dead. Say toodaloo, Robin.
Batman approaches, driving a forklift. Dances a loser's game. Change the rules.
You're cheating. That means you all die, Rat.
He has to make the game his own.
Cheater.
Two-Face shoots at the hanging pallets, and they begin to fall. Make the odds bend to his favor. Play to win. No walking away. No timeout. Lives in the balance and seconds on the clock. Kent prays. No! Dick slams the forklift into the metal tables, knocking him out of the path of the falling pallets just in time. Before they crash to the ground. Batman smacks his gun hand away and knocks out Two-Face.
No.
Game over.
Off. On. Off. On. Off. On.
We got the fire under control, but a lot of records are destroyed.
Don't worry, they'll make more.
Ain't that the truth? Batman and Robin watch the firemen work from a nearby ledge.
Well, you got something hardly any of us ever get. A second shot. You used your first experience with Two-Face as a guide to shutting him down.
I wish it made me feel better. Funny thing is, just as I'm getting good at this, I know I'm going to have to give it up. Prodigal, Part 8. Bullies. So, you escaped from the federal lockup and went on a 6-state crime spree, killing a dozen cops on the way. Well, the party ends here, guys.
I got your party, Jerkimer.
What a wussy!
We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
He said that line in the last movie.
The last 2 movies!
I want my money back.
It's like watching a rerun!
I'm going to say something to them, Ariana. Don't. It's almost over, Tim. It'll be all right. Could you guys hold it down a little? There's other people here, you know.
The punks dump their soda on Tim's head. Tim grabs the punk by the collar.
Tim! I could take them and not work up a sweat. I could move in them so fast their next memory would be an emergency room. Yeah, Robin could. But Tim Drake can't. Tim, don't! Tim Drake has to take it. You made a big, big mistake, Timmy.
We'll see you outside, Timbo.
Tim Drake's no boy wonder. I don't see them. See who, Harry? The macho act is very cute, Tim. You know exact...
The bullies are waiting for them in the alley outside the theater.
Well, Timmy, how'd you like the movie?
Was it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, Timbo? Man, look, why don't we call it even and just walk away?
Oh, we'll walk away, Timmy. The bully shoves Tim and punches him.
I can take a hit. I can roll with the punch.
Ariana jumps on the other one's back.
Ow! They're not that good. Clumsy brawlers. Should get away with just a few light bruises if I play it right. Then it all gets torqued up a notch.
Get off me!
He throws her to the ground.
Leave her, It's an old story. Shamed in front of my girl.
Tim is kicked when he's down.
I can feel her eyes on me. Hurts more than any kick or punch. Hold it in. Hold it back. The secret's the important thing. The secret.
What's going on over there? A policeman rushes over and the bullies run away.
Tim? I'm alright, Ariana.
Damn kids. Later in the Batcave, Dick inspects his wounds.
Pretty bad. Sure you want to go out tonight? I've never been more sure, Dick.
You're looking for a little payback, right?
Take out on some low-life thug would you feel toward those guys who handed you a beating? Yeah, I guess I am.
I can relate. They drive out into Gotham in the Batmobile.
Maybe this'll do the trick. Some adrenaline to wash this sick feeling away. Dick's watching me, gauging my reactions. He's not as judgmental as Bruce would be, but he's keeping an eye on me. There's enough action tonight, but nothing special. Nothing challenging. Another night in Gotham.
Dick and Tim handle a variety of low-level crimes in the streets of Gotham City, such as catching some robbers, rescuing a hostage, and stopping some really awful people dealing drugs on a kid's playground.
It usually makes me feel better to get into the action. Makes me forget my problems.
Well, you got a few licks in. Got your blood up.
It didn't help. I can do this every night and it wouldn't change anything. Getting payback as Robin isn't the same thing.
What's that supposed to mean?
Tim Drake doesn't get anything out of it. He still looks like a weenie in front of his girlfriend. Robin can take down every skell in Gotham and that won't change.
I see what you mean. I always felt bad for Bruce for having to put on the Bernie Wooster bit. That has to hurt. Maybe that's why I never tried too hard to beat Dick Grayson. But you're not the kind to take anything easy, are you, Tim? A few days later, Tim Drake happens to run into those bullies again, with no one around to see what happens.
Like the man said, the party ends here.
Not like last time, Timbo. No cops. No girlfriend.
No witnesses. You guys sure you want to do this? Oh, we're sure!
Tim lifts the bully off the ground, deflecting his arm, then flips around him and kicks the other one in the face. He spins back around, punching the first bully in the face and grabbing his collar. He flips over him again and brings him down to the ground, face first.
You guys should be glad this didn't end the same way as last time. I know how much you hate sequels. Well, things are looking up.
Prodigal, Part 9. One Night in the War Zone. Dick Grayson descends the steps to the Batcave.
I'm the Batman, but the Batman is not me. Dick Grayson, Robin, Nightwing, Batman, all the same, all different, all me, but not quite. Robin's skin, shed long ago, is now worn by another, and being Batman is only temporary, maybe another month, maybe another night. Still, it only takes a second to lose it all, and it takes guts to wear a bat over your heart. Got it yet? I think so, Dick, although it sure wasn't easy hacking through all the garbage and garble. Two-Face worked a real number on the penal system's master computer. The follow-ups caused dozens of cons to be prematurely released. Gordon's people can track down and nail most of them, but these are the three worst ones still at large, lifers without possibility of parole.
Robin hands Dick a printout.
And never eligible for release.
And these are the ones demanding Batman's attention.
Like you said, Dick, Two-Face himself is down, but now it's time to clean up his mess.
It never ends.
Not in my experience, but then you've had more.
Not in mankind's experience. Tell me about these three.
All murderers, obviously, but each one does have a unique twist. Drake, for example, specializes in drugs, sometimes with a partner named George Sampson.
Drake leans on his old partner, George Sampson, to provide him with drugs to sell, while the second name on the list, McCone, a mob enforcer, equips himself with a gun for a mission of revenge. And the third name, Chung, has old partners left to take out in Chinatown, having killed the others already, hand to hand, each with a different martial arts weapon. And every last address is in Battergate. Do they still call that area the War Zone?
The cops do, but Bruce calls it hell.
All three of them in the War Zone.
Hey, what do you expect for guys like that?
I didn't expect anything, Tim, but what I've got is a dirty job.
We're going in now?
You've got school and your father to worry about. Better grab whatever sleep you can.
Leaving you to enter the War Zone alone?
No, with the Batman riding on my back, and let's hope this cape's worth at least a regiment. Bound to be a long night, maybe long enough to curse the sun for setting. But why should this night feel so much worse? Why was it such an effort to don the cape and cowl, to leave the cave? Why does it feel like it should be finished? Did I put the bat over my heart just to test myself? To get the monkey of Two-Face off my back? No, I did it because Bruce asked me, because he needed me.
I gave my word, and that kind of promise, no matter how long the night, sticks for the duration. Now that Two-Face is down, I may not need or want the bat, but I've got to put my heart into it.
Chung attacks his first target, killing him with a throwing star and his friend with a TV set. One left to go on his list.
The front line of the war zone, even worse than I remember it. But then it's been a long time since I was merely Robin.
Dick scales a building.
And these days they're actually talking about fencing off the surrounding areas with checkpoints and razor wire. If only it were that easy to achieve true security.
McCone breaks into his target's home and takes his wife hostage, intending to wait for her husband to return.
Bruce is right. It is hell. And time to enter it. Might as well hunt the demons in the order of Tim's list, making Strake first.
Strake gets his product from Samson.
Mm-hmm. Blade looking good, George. You holding out on me. No, I was just talking, Strake. I'll cut you in, man. Honest. Got it backwards, George.
He puts an end to their partnership for good with a knife.
I'll cut in you. If you can call it luck, it may be with me. Two bad dudes going into a pawn shop well after hours. The same pawn shop Tim's printout pegs as a front for Strake's former drug dealing. In a war zone of creeps and criminals, it seems old haunts never die. Strake? Back in business, boys, now that George here just retired. And I sure hope he did a good job filling in for me, 'cause I hate to think of you drooling over this merchandise with nothing but short cash. Easy, Strake. Don't matter if it's you or George. We got...
Freeze! Batman rushes in and punches out the customers.
What?
He dodges Strake's knife slash. Strake stabs forward, but only catches Dick's cape. The knife rips free when he gets his hand stuck in a tuba. Dick takes him down with a series of torso strikes and throws him into a glass counter. His drugs fall on his unconscious head. Dick dials the phone.
Police, pawn shop on Harkins in the war zone. Drugs and murder. Hurry, but you can go in easy. The perpetrators are all down.
Understood, but who is... Now McCone, and a shift from old haunts to unfinished vengeance.
McCone has his target's wife tied to a chair in her living room.
Well, a certain scraping at the front door, much like a key being inserted into a lock. No! Get away! Don't come in!
He fires through the front door.
Run, Margie! Margie? Who's
Batman crashes through the window.
Who the...
He ducks McCone's shots, the bullets tearing through his cape as he moves in. Dick knocks him out with a palm strike to the chin. He unties the woman.
I thought you were my daughter, Margie. Daughter? But then where is...
Her husband emerges from the closet with a knife.
No, Vince, he saved me. Castle, hiding in the closet the whole time.
Batman ducks it and elbows the man to take him down.
It never ends. But now, if his wife's willing to tell the truth and testify, even a blind DA gets to bag them both.
Go to a neighbor's house and call the police, Mrs. Castle. I'll wait outside until I get here.
Yes. Probably a great marriage the Castles have, but then I messed up with Corey myself, blew it with the Titans, lost my way as Nightwing. I'm too old to be Robin, and being the Batman on a grim tour like this certainly isn't me. But what is? What am I? Other than a reluctant grunt in a foreign war zone. At least the cavalry's here to mop up this skirmish. Time for Chung. But man, do I hate martial arts guys.
Batman slips into an abandoned warehouse.
The last of the 3 addresses listed for Chung, and even less promising than the first 2. Luck was bound to run out on me. No one here for a long time. Maybe the heat's off in Chinatown by now. Maybe Chung never even came back to the war zone.
Chung watches him from the rafters. A gang arrives to search for Chung as he retrieves a claw weapon from a hidden compartment.
What makes you think Chung will come here? It's where he started in Battergate, where he always goes when there's trouble. Told me he wants to keep the stash here. Money, weapons. Though I ain't never found it. And believe me, I looked plenty. There!
When Batman is spotted and makes him move, Chung drops onto them, slashing one in the back as he lands.
Ah! No, it is him, but waging a war of his own with others.
Huh? How'd he get way over there? Just do it.
Chung jump kicks one as Dick disarms another with a batarang,
Making for strange allies.
he jumps in and the two quickly take all the gang members down with martial arts until only they are left.
At least temporarily.
Batman flips over Chung as he rakes his cape with a claw.
And none to go, except you. I've had enough for one night. You're not dead yet.
No.
But thou shalt not.
Dick uses the board to get rid of Chung's claw. He uses it to beat Chung unconscious.
Kill!
Came in after 3 and got 10. A lot more than I bargained for. But the peace talks blew up a long time ago, and you don't make deals in a war zone. At least I'm still alive, 2 hours shy of dawn. Long night by any measure, and a relief to end it early. Trade war zone for manor and... 3 shots echoing through canyons of crumbled brick. A distant scream from some upper floor in the opposite direction. The 3 worst have been recaptured. The pre-Two-Face status quo restored. But there are new crimes every minute, in every direction. It never stops, never ends. And if an entire police force can become overwhelmed and demoralized, how does one man, alone in an eternal night of evil and violence, possibly cope? By being driven, obsessed, more than a normal man.
Dick tears away part of his cape.
And a lot more than I'm prepared or able to be.
He leaves it behind, a symbolic gesture of what he has given to the war of being Batman.
There's only one Batman. It wasn't Jean Paul Valley, and it isn't me. Come back, Bruce. The night needs you. And all I can do is curse the bat eclipsing my heart.
Prodigal, Part 10. Dick is slapped in the face.
Are you Batman?
What?
Are you Batman?
Yes.
Change your costume. Remember me? The Tally Man.
The tally man spins the cylinder of a revolver.
I'm a debt collector. What does any of this have to do with me? You owe me.
He pulls the trigger, and the hammer clicks.
Lucky.
Batman's hands are tied to 2 metal poles as he is taunted by the tally man in a deserted construction zone.
6 chambers, but only 1 bullet in the gun. Sooner or later, it's going to get you.
Why are you doing this?
Because I want to see you sweat, Batman. I want to see the fear in your eyes, hear the terror in your voice, torture you the way you tortured me, before I execute you like the dog you are.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Liar! I've waited a long time for this, laying awake many painful nights, planning how I'd pay you back, and you walked into my trap like a novice.
Earlier, Batman responds to a call for help, only to find a tape recorder and 2 dummies.
Somebody, please help! A setup to decoy me here, but why?
Ah!
A bullet grazes his forehead and he is knocked out.
I could have killed you with that shot, but there's no satisfaction in death from a distance.
Then the tally man collects him.
I want to see you suffer. Close up.
He mentioned a new costume, so it must have been Jean Paul he went up against. That would explain why there's no record of any tally man in the Batcave's databanks. Record keeping wasn't exactly Paul's strong point. Ironic if I had to take the rap for something that maniac Paul did.
Look, pal, you're making a serious mistake. How about you cut me free and we'll talk things over rationally before this goes too far? The tally man backhands him.
Don't patronize me. I pride myself on my rationality, Batman. Emotion has no place in my life. I've killed 66 men, and only the very first of them was due to anger. All the rest were cash considerations only, until you crossed my path. I'm telling you, you've got the wrong man. I've never seen you before. Let me remind you. Seems the Buto family thought you conspired with the Mahoon brothers to lure Joey Buto to his death. They hired me to collect the debt. I can show you Mahoon where a milk run, but the Batman, now there's a guy who can fight. A long time since I've had a battle like that one.
Early in his career as his armored version of Batman, Jean-Paul defeats the Tallyman in battle.
It was total war, and you beat me fair and square. I got no complaints about that. But then you whacked out on me, came on with all that crazy stuff. I'm not your puny Batman. I'm Azrael, the punishing angel, harbinger of death.
Enraged and lost in the system, Jean uses his claws on the villain.
Beating me wasn't enough, was it, you rat? You had to brand me, mark me, as if I'm your accursed personal property.
Budo family were enemies of Bruce's when he was Batman. Looks like this Tallyman went after Paul thinking he was Bruce, and he's captured me thinking I'm Paul. Doubly ironic.
Brand you? Personal property? Don't play the innocent. Look at your handiwork. The sign of your damned bat.
He exposes his chest to reveal the scar of the bat symbol carved into his flesh by Jean-Paul Valley.
Remember now, do you? That's why you've got to suffer.
If he'd had any doubts that it was Paul, this dispels them. The man was even more insane than they'd known.
Struggle all you want. You won't break that wire. Ready to play again? Let's see how your luck's holding.
He's cool and collected on the outside, but inside, I get the definite impression he's seething. Maybe I can use his emotion against him.
He's stared death in the face more times than he can count. These things he knows. Never give up till you're beat. The Tallyman puts the revolver to Batman's head. Never die till you're dead. Dick works a small concealed blade free from his glove.
Suck it in, soldier. This time the Reaper.
The Tallyman puts his finger on the trigger. As if in corroboration of the Tallyman's words, the years roll away, and his life flashes before his eyes. His boyhood, the circus where his parents starred, where his parents died. Dick witnesses his parents' death. He remembers the feelings as if it was happening to him now. Grief, loss, bewilderment, and a mounting fury. He could easily have ended up on the wrong side of the tracks if it hadn't been for Bruce Wayne. Bruce takes him in. Bruce, his surrogate father, his mentor, his friend, his partner. And he begins to train. Bruce molded him, channeled that fury, that hunger for revenge, into a force for good, for what's right, for justice. Dick springs into action as Robin alongside Batman. The night wind in his face, Gotham's electric insanity. For years these were his life, and he wouldn't change it now for the world. But the dream wasn't his, not Dick Grayson's. He was but a tool. It was Bruce Wayne's dream they were living out. The gun clicks again as the hammer lands on an empty chamber.
2 down, 4 left. How does it feel, Batman, knowing death spins ever closer? Not nice.
Anything but nice. But he won't die till he's dead. Dick has the blade in his fingers.
A few minutes to reconsider before the next. Talk to me, Tallyman. What's your story? Obviously you couldn't become a hero in duds like that. So what's your problem? Bank foreclosure on your dad, maybe? Wife run off with a tax man? Leave my family out of this. Or maybe your mom was frightened by a debt collector.
The Tallyman pistol whips him.
Shut up!
He left college after a semester. Who cared if he had a good excuse? Failure. Dick walks away from his university. Then he thought he'd cracked it. No more the Batman's pawn. He became a member of a team, the Teen Titans. Robin leads the Teen Titans into his adulthood. He became his own man, Nightwing, and reveled in it. To Nightwing, our leader! Nightwing makes a name for himself in the Titans. For a while he felt as if he ruled the world, suffused with that feeling that only ever comes from being the right man in the right place at the right time. Then somehow it all reversed, and he was the wrong man. He leaves the team to be led by others. Even love went cold on him. The one relationship he thought he could depend on dissipated like dust on the Gotham wind. Dick and Corey, better known as Starfire, split up. And now he's Batman, the culmination of a dream he thought he'd always had, but it's been wrong. Like Paul, he was just filling in for somebody else, marking time till the boss came home. And when it seemed to be going well, this. Failure. Dick has almost cut his hand free.
Deep in thought? Mind running like ice water over all the possibilities? Running out of ideas for escape? Remembering your life? I know. I've been there. I came back. I have a feeling. This time, you won't.
The tallyman aims the gun at Batman's head again, preparing to fire. Funny how Bruce's words come to him. Hope is all that stands between this city and despair. If we give them justice, we give them hope. No, he won't die in another man's shoes. Dick breaks the wire just in time to duck as the gun goes off, ducking the bullet. He backhands the tallyman away. His muscles feel like water, his arms like lumps of lead, but he moves.
Pity you had to spoil things. I was enjoying that. Now you have to go the quick way.
The tallyman pulls out an Uzi. Dick begins cutting his other hand free.
Still need the big gun, eh, tallyman? What's wrong? Afraid I'd hurt you? Is that it, mama's boy? You leave my mother out of this.
The tallyman opens fire. But Batman dives behind a wall. Gunfire turned on the machinery. The gun clicks on empty. Dick charges at it.
I don't need bullets. You owe me, Batman.
The tallyman throws his gun away and dives at Batman, but Dick drops and catches him with his feet, flipping him towards the building. The tallyman smashes through the window. His costume gets caught in the turning gears.
No! My only regret is I didn't make you pay. And my only regret,
Dick turns off the machine.
Is that I was dumb enough to fall for your ruse in the first place.
Batman helps him get free. The tallyman brushes himself off as he gets up.
Thank you. A very decent action. The debt you owe is cancelled. We can part as temporary intruders on each other's lives. No can do, tallyman. By your own admission, you killed dozens of people. I'm going to have to take you in. Sorry, but I can't allow that.
The villain kicks Batman.
I wasn't asking for your permission.
Dick catches his leg and punches him. And throws him into a wall. The villain slashes Batman's chest with a tool. He throws it at him as he runs away, climbing a metal crane outside. Every muscle screaming, legs turning to marshmallow, but he's finished with failure, and sheer willpower keeps him on his feet. Batman follows him up.
Farewell. No doubt we'll meet again.
The tallyman leaps off the crane. Batman throws a batarang and wraps his legs up with a line.
Sooner than you think, creep. Just to make it interesting for you.
As he tries to free himself, Dick throws another line and ties his hands down to his legs, leaving him hanging from the crane.
Get out of that. And count yourself fortunate I don't shoot people.
Batman returns to the night. He's aching, exhausted, a wreck. But an excitement tingles through him. He feels almost elated. Robin, Nightwing, Batman. He's none of these things. And he's all of them. But there's something else. Something that stands above everything he knows and everything he's done. Something he doesn't yet understand. But maybe soon he will. Prodigal, Part 11. Night Without Armor.
First the power went down. Then it got dark. Then it got bloody.
It ain't going down!
Gun it! Whatever it was big and scary and bulletproof.
A dark shape tears through the thugs protecting a mob boss, splattering the walls with blood.
Boom! Ah! Mikey and Frank went down. Then little Donnie and Ace. What do you want? Who sent you? I don't mind telling you, I was scared. Yeah! I don't mind telling you, I hid.
The man is telling his story to Batman and Robin on a rooftop.
Came right through the glass, 50 stories up. He was armored, and he had claws and wings, and you probably think I'm crazy. Not crazy, Maury. Just frightened. How'd you find me? How'd you make me for being at the Chubby Moran hit? You went on a binge, Maury. You must have told every bartender down Island Avenue. I had to talk to somebody.
And you talk to us.
The police are on their way. You wait for them, Maury.
Yeah.
Armor, claws, wings. You know who we're up against, don't you? Azrael.
They swing into the night.
He's out there somewhere. I can feel it.
Back in the cave.
I'm not so sure. We don't know where Valley took off to, Tim. Why can't we assume he's still in Gotham? I just don't see him picking up the vigilante gig again. The guy's unhinged, so Bruce cleaned his clock and sent him packing. That doesn't mean he's off the vengeance kick. Somebody out there is taking off secondary mob figures. From the descriptions we got, it sounds like Choir Boy. But Bruce said that Bruce isn't infallible, Tim. He has been known to be wrong. He was the one who left that lunatic in charge, remember? Whoa. Jeez, listen to me. Maybe my cowl's on too tight. All I know is I'm not getting thrown out of the cave again. Okay. But you have to admit it's a lead worth following. Could be. But I think we might be looking at a new player in town. So we got everything on Jean Paul Valley that we need. Education, residences, his likes and dislikes, his favorite Disney movie. And all of it's useless. Paul's past is irrelevant. It was all a show until he became Azrael. None of this tells us where he is now. He might be at Grand and Belmont Plaza. Huh? Police are responding to a call about men out on a ledge of high towers. Shots fired.
We won't get there until it's over.
Unless we take the subway rocket.
I don't know. The boys grin at each other in unison. Okay, but I drive.
No problem.
2 transit employees await the train on a platform.
If we're late for work, it's your fault, you know.
Quit it, will you? I see a train coming.
Local or express?
The rocket blazes past them.
Oh, yeah!
It's an express.
Harold juked the controls since last time. You're tied into Gotham's transit computers. We're instantly routed to off-traffic tracks if there's a train within 2 miles on our line.
Nice. Detectives Bullock and Montoya arrive at a crime scene. What's the story, Vince? Hell of a shootout on a 20th floor ledge. Started in a restaurant. Still going at it.
I don't like the idea of climbing up there, Harv.
A man falls onto Harvey's car.
But if we wait long enough, they'll come down to us.
I just signed for this car. Didn't even get to fill the ashtrays yet.
Somebody's making the climb, Sergeant Bullock. Batman and Robin ascend the building. More freaks! They're coming out of the woodwork!
Robin, heads up. It's Lucky Silver.
So the Batman's in on the hit. All you freaks are in it together. First the winged psycho, and now you! They swing in, and Batman disarms the thugs with a batarang. Robin flips in with a jump kick.
Ah! I'm your only hope, Lucky. Who's trying to hit you?
I don't know. Some nutbar in a mask and claws and... Him! He's the one trying to take me out! He's gonna kill me! Lucky points to the sky as he is enveloped in smoke. A shape swoops down from the sky and he is ripped out of Batman's grasp.
Lucky!
No!
Was Lucky a nickname?
It had to be Valley. It had to be.
I don't know. It could have been.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe the answer is in the past.
Maybe it's time we each pursued our own tacks.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means I wasn't hired just to be a sidekick. I follow my hunches and you follow yours.
I see what you mean.
Strength in numbers. Or divide and conquer.
Batman and Robin split up. Back in the cave, Robin looks up the known victims and finds a pattern in the protection racket. He leaves to check up on the last person in the group running them. Okay, I'm recording this for you, Robin, just so I could say I told you so. I'm on top of the building where Valley's father was killed. The terrace where we finally caught up with the choir boy. He's been back here. I know he has. He looked out over this city just like I'm doing now. And what did he see, Robin?
Salvation?
Dick is looking at a large cross on a building across the river. Robin finds the man well prepared as he activates the clapper, a device sold on TV in the 90s that turns the light on or off upon hearing a distinct clapping sound. To reveal his armed guards, Robin begins to grin.
A rescue mission. No way the choir boy missed this symbolism.
Batman enters the mission.
Holy jeez!
Maybe you can help me.
Me?
Have you seen anyone new around here? Anyone strange? Scary?
Scarier than you?
Could be.
There's a new guy around the mission. Real smart. Might be able to help you. Got money out of them bank machines. Treated everybody to a party. Good with them computers and like that.
I'd really like to meet him.
Robin claps, shutting the lights back off, and attacks the thugs in the dark. By the time the lights go back on from the impact sounds, one of the men is down from a sweep kick. He claps the light back on once he's finished with the other one.
Did you order this by phone or can I pick one up at a store?
Get up, fella. Somebody here to see you.
Huh? To see me? I don't know anyone. I don't...
You know me, Azrael.
Jean Paul wakes up to see the Batman at his bedside.
No! You promised I'd be free! Free.
That's the guy you're looking for? Hey, I'm asking you, that's the guy? Dick leaves him in peace. Robin asks the man who he was defending against, but he doesn't know himself. Just then the question is answered as the window smashes in. And soon claws are ripping him to pieces, like the others. Meanwhile, Dick returns to the cave. Okay, your instincts beat mine, Tim. Paul's in Gotham all right, but I'm not so sure he knows that. The guy's a veg, a total burnout. He's not our killer. He doesn't have it in him anymore, Tim. So if you want to say I told you so, go right ahead. I thought I taught you that you have to eliminate all possibilities in a homicide investigation. The only wrong guesses are the ones you overlook.
What are you doing here?
Robin sees a hideous, alien-looking creature seemingly made of metal and bearing huge wings and bloody claws.
No witnesses. No one sees Steel Jacket and lives.
Bruce Wayne sits in the Batcave, returned home at last. I'm home. You did expect me back, right, Dick?
I'm not so sure I did, Bruce.
Prodigal, Part 12, Conclusion. Wings over Gotham.
I was just following a lead on a series of mob murders. I wasn't looking for a fight.
No witnesses. No one sees Steel Jacket and lives.
Robin leaps to avoid Steel Jacket's slashing wings.
But the fight found me. I figured this scene for the next possible hit. Looks like Bullock and Montoya did the same.
The Gotham police burst in. Freeze, wingnut!
You were right, Harv. This guy wears wings.
Wears wings? I do more than wear them.
Steel Jacket extends his wings, knocking the police over.
Dick's wrong about the murderer. He's jerked Jean Paul back to his Azrael mania. Turns out I'm right. There's a new player in Gotham. But I'm not gloating.
Robin wraps a line around the creature's legs.
I'm wishing now I was wrong. So where have you been, Bruce?
That's not important now, Dick. Let's just say I needed to rethink a few things. Decide who I really am.
If you say anything about finding myself, I think I'll puke.
I thought you'd be glad to see me back.
That depends on why you came back.
To take up the mantle again. To take back my place.
For how long this time?
Not now, Dick. We can talk about this when... Dick puts a hand on Bruce's shoulder.
Right now. We're settling this right now, Bruce. The idea was to get the jump line wrapped around something stationary.
Montoya, the kid!
But it feels like I latched onto a jumbo jet.
Steeljacket flies out of the building.
Then I'm looking at a 20-story drop.
Robin is carried along behind him. What is it you want to say?
I'm not sure where to start. There's so many things I've wanted to say. So many opportunities lost. We dissolved the partnership, but we never really discussed it. There always seemed to be something going on, some interruption.
There was nothing to say. You'd outgrown it. You needed to strike out on your own. I understood. After all the years and all the danger, we didn't need words.
Sometimes you're hopeless, you know that? You never need words. You never question. You never examine yourself or the people around you. Too many questions you've never asked yourself. I think that's the only thing you're afraid of. This didn't work out like I planned. I meant to snare him with a rang and brace myself inside the building. I got it half right.
Steeljacket rises over the city, and it's all Robin can do to hang on as he bounces off buildings.
You wanted a ride, boy? I'll show you a ride.
Hands going numb from my grip on the jump line. My 130 pounds isn't even slowing him down. Heading for the roof of the Harriet Tower. Saw this on the news tonight. A fundraiser for Mayor Kroll's re-election campaign.
Steeljacket buzzes a society dinner, and Robin bounces off one of the tables as they speed past.
Whoa! If I wasn't in danger of getting squashed like a bug on a windshield, this would be embarrassing. Hope I live to be humiliated by the memory. It only gets rougher from here. That's right, isn't it? You question yourself, you doubt yourself for a second, and it all comes apart, right? That's why you can't face me now.
You can't begin to know what you're saying. You don't know how I question myself and everything I've become. The right of it, the wrong of it. Not allowing myself any reward for the good. Damning myself for every mistake. Thinking of everyone who sacrificed themselves in my war. Everyone close to me. Everyone who cared. Bruce sees himself reflected in Jason's costume.
My weight's not even slowing him down. Steeljacket's gaining altitude. Why'd he pick a dumb name like Steeljacket? Maybe I heard him wrong.
Steeljacket rises through the canyon between Gotham skyscrapers.
Stay focused, Tim. Don't panic. There's a way out of this. Batman could see it. Think. What would Bruce do? But you left Gotham in the care of Jean Paul. You hardly knew him. And what you did know didn't exactly recommend him for the job. You left him alone with a lunatic. The kid could have been killed.
There wasn't time.
No time to pick up a phone? No time to call me?
It wasn't that easy. You know it wasn't. I didn't know your situation. I knew you were working through some problems.
Yeah, problems. And I thought there was one guy who'd have faith in me. But when it comes down to the test, you picked somebody else to succeed you. A stranger. Can't hold on much longer. Cutting circulation from my hands. Games are over. This guy's getting serious about losing me. Drop like a stone. Buy some slack on this line. Loosen the hold. Get a real grip. Pain's incredible as the blood flows back into my wrists and hands. Bite the bullet and hang on.
As Steeljacket dragged Robin across the skyline, the police chased them in a car below.
Something's wrong with this plan. Just can't sort it all out in this rush.
Robin swings around a statue, wrapping it in his line.
Ah! Maybe not. I stopped him. Here's where I get off.
Steeljacket tears the statue free.
Nothing's going the way I planned.
I never knew you wanted to follow me as the Batman.
Well, I've thought about it. You left before we could ever discuss it. I assumed you wanted to get out from under my shadow, make a name for yourself. You've done that, created a life, fought your own fights. I didn't have the right to call you back. The right? I'd die for you, Bruce. But I couldn't ask you to. I didn't know how to.
Silence fills the cave and the years between the two men. Silence in the shape of a bat.
An extra 1.5 tons of granite had taken the wind out of his wings. I could jump clear to a 10-floor fall. Smashed on the sidewalk or cut to ribbons. No time to work the risk factors. Just hang on.
Robin hangs on as the statue smashes through a building's window.
And pray for a miracle.
The police rush into the building to find Robin and the statue. Look, this is the part I'm not good at. You reached an age where you couldn't be the boy wonder anymore. You outgrew it. A distance grew between us. I left so many things unsaid. I handled it all wrong. But that's the way it always is, isn't it?
I don't know what you mean. The way what always is?
Between fathers and sons. The police open fire and unload on the trapped steel jacket.
I can feel the heat of the lead flying over my head. I can hear Steeljacket's breath explode from his lungs with each hit. Then everything's quiet except for the ringing in my ears.
He finally drops, landing on a passing train. Radio Central. Haven't picked up at Seagate. That's the end of the line.
End of the line for Flyboy, too. Nothing human could have survived all that. Yeah, nothing human. I'm hurting now. I know it'll be worse in the morning. And tomorrow's a gym day.
Dick awaits Robin in his Nightwing outfit.
So, did you catch your boogeyman? Yeah, big guy with steel wings and claws. We tore the Pioneer off the top of City Hall. Can we talk about this in the morning? I want to go home and... Hey, what's with the Nightwing costume? Going back to my original gig, Boy Wonder. Does that mean you're giving up on being Batman, or...
Or handing the cape and cowl back to the original?
Bruce, you're... back? Your costume, it's...
Bruce Wayne shows them his new all-black Batsuit. It's just the start of the changes I'm going to make. The end. Following Prodigal came the 4-part story Troika, in which Bruce debuts his new costume and his new way of doing things while fighting KG Beast and the Russian Mafia. Bruce attempts to give Gordon an explanation, but once Bruce is back as Batman, he doesn't even need to hear it. The man he trusts has returned, and Dick was the perfect substitute. He's only concerned with solving today's problem and moving forward. It can't be ignored that in 1995, the public perception of Batman had been greatly redefined by Michael Keaton in the Tim Burton films. This was the primary inspiration for the look of the costume, and an example of how more popular media can filter changes back into the comics world that inspired it. Bruce was always very effective in combat, but after retraining during his time away, he has somehow become an even more focused machine of precise violence in the service of justice. Here he can be seen taking down an entire room full of muscle-bound men without breaking a sweat or needing to block a single attack. He would also learn to take better care of his relationships and let Robin and Nightwing take some of the burden when needed. And they would be a bigger factor in almost every large Bat event going forward. And the books would be more interlinked than ever before. This was the true beginning of the modern Bat family of vigilantes, which has grown ever more expansive as time has gone on. Bruce also updated his gear, adding extra protection to the Batsuit against things like electricity and radiation, just in case of unforeseen circumstances, and this reflects his attitude change in the best way. He decided to become even more prepared, and in a large part, this is when the Batman with prep time meme was created, or the version of Batman who would go on to inspire it anyway, as memes had not quite been invented yet. We were still at the level of hamsterdance.com in 1995. That's the year Sandra Bullock's The Net came out, and the internet was the monster in the movie. Anyway, Bruce had decided that his biggest mistake was being unprepared for nightfall, and he resolved to never be caught unprepared for anything ever again. This new version of Batman would be needed soon by the world as well as Gotham, as Batman would join the new JLA in 1997, and he would have to be hyper-effective to justify his place on a team filled with gods and superpowered aliens, using only his mind, his muscles, and his gear. But Bruce was truly now ready for anything, and would always be considered one of the team's heavy hitters in fact, as his strategic thinking and stealth ability to be instrumental in saving the entire world many, many times over. But all of that is a story for another day. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Radio Play Comics. Thanks to all my subscribers, both new and old, as the channel wouldn't exist without you. No story exists in a vacuum, and they each require an audience to become an experience. I hope you've enjoyed experiencing the KnightFall saga with me, and I hope you'll come back next time for another adventure into the imagination. Goodbye for now, and as always, thanks for watching.